I realized at some point that that there was nothing stopping me from... I should tilt the camera down, shouldn't I? There's nothing stopping me from wearing makeup that made me look like I was an alien trying to understand how to blend in with humans. Like, there's nothing stopping me from that. The only thing that was stopping me from that was that when I was like 14 through 16, somewhere in there, I got a book about doing your makeup, and it said that by the time that you're 20, you should have graduated from glitter into shimmer, and that you shouldn't be wearing glitter anymore. And at some point I realized I'm 29 years old and no one can stop me. I own more Keytars than anybody else I know. Except that there's a box right here that came from Japan. And I actually have a knife this time. So this is arguably not a Keytar. It really depends on how you feel about some things. The main question is it a Keytar if it doesn't have a neck? See, because I was looking at the Yamaha Reface series and how I would fucking packing peanuts. I would like to review the Reface series, but that feels like it'd be difficult or expensive. God, I hate packing peanuts. Because it's 4 different instruments that you'd have to buy. The only other way I could stand to do it would be to buy them through Amazon and then return them. And it sounds like it'd be a lot of work. Because a lot of people I know who found my videos later got the Reface, but fucking hell, this is packed tightly and very safely, thank you, sender. But so, I said, you know, I need an instrument to go with the KX5, and the DX of the Reface series is really interesting because it's just them trying to get the feel and sound of the Yamaha D7, which is just an iconic sound. I need that sound. I don't have any Keytars that make that sound. So I was looking at sound modules and I was looking at the Reface. Apparently I'm gonna have to buy the Reface because I can't get into this fucking box. But that should let you know that this box does not contain the Yamaha Reface DX. It's stuck fucking closed. We are never getting this out, are we? This is the longest unboxing has ever taken me. It's then wrapped in bubble wrap. You can go pop that on the other channel. Oh hey, we got it. So this thing that I'm firmly grabbing onto right now is a strap button. So that should give you, God almighty, I'm gonna break this thing pulling it out, aren't I? How did you get this into this box? Dear seller, you've been really nice, you were really honest, you kept me up to date. How did you get this into this box, and why packing peanuts? Packing peanuts are the worst thing ever. So yes, as you can see, it does have a keyboard shape. Come on, bitch. Nope, that's not gonna work. How did they get this in the box? How am I gonna get this out of the box? Packing peanuts better protect you, bitch. Packing peanuts better protect you. Power supply? I got this from Japan. I don't know if Japan uses the same power supply as us. But what happened here was that Shy Gal Lily, who also did this cool poster of me, told me to bid on one on eBay. And I lost the bid, and then I just kept thinking about how much I needed this. And I bought one. Jeez, this thing is fucking secured in here, isn't it? So then I bought one. The one I bid it on, I didn't actually check to see how the memory battery was doing. And this one, the seller lists how the memory battery is doing, because apparently the memory battery is a problem. So this is it. This is the Yamaha DX100. I'm in my car and I'm editing this right now, And the shot where I flipped the thing, I realized that that is Hatsune Miku's sleeves. Her sleeves are a DX100. And I know this because I stared at them for a long time while I was gluing rhinestones to some tights that I had cut up for the Vocaloid video. But this also means that I have the keytar that sounds like Miku, and I have the keytar that looks like Miku, and I don't know where this is going to go, but I feel like it's going to escalate. So we're going to set that aside for a second, clean up our mess that we've made with all these packing peanuts. So I did not do a whole fuckload of research on this. Do not sit on your box knife. How is it going to go down? Oh god. Well, definitely don't sit on your box knife if it won't retract anymore. So this takes 6 C batteries, which for those of you who are not familiar, is real heavy. But also, for those of you who are not familiar, is how many batteries the SHS-200 also takes. So we are going to play shuffle the batteries around, as we often do. Get in there, bitch. So, the reason why this is interesting, among other things, is that it has strap buttons, which might make it a keytar. If I was gonna get Reface DX, I might as well just get the classic, official, real, normal thing, do. Cassette, MIDI in, MIDI out, MIDI through, output. What does this go to? When I was a kid, I had this idea that I could be a famous songwriter and singer if I just had a guitar, which is funny because having gear doesn't buy you skills. I said that and then I realized that the majority of my YouTube fame is from unboxing gear. So clearly it did buy me some popularity. But this has just that really, really specific sound that, woo, what the heck is that? Oh. The mod was up all the way. God, I love how this sounds. No octave shift, huh? So far it hasn't played a single sound that I don't like the sound of. It has MIDI in. And what do we know about MIDI in? What is it that we all know about MIDI in? That's right, folks, I'm glad you've been paying attention. Anything that has MIDI in, you can connect anything that has MIDI out to. All of it. You can connect all of these things together, and it's not even a problem. Since the KX5 is actually from the same series as the DX100, we should be able to... Do I need to turn this off first? Because I usually don't. Oh. I think this is the first thing I've ever had that's listened to the portamento setting on this. Patch shift doesn't work. I wanted to plug this in because I was pretty sure that it'd be easier to figure out the patch select on this than it would be to figure out the patch select on a totally new instrument. But clearly I was not correct on that. That is okay though. I love this. They're assuming that you'll read the goddamn manual before you just start pressing buttons. What you gotta know is that it has strap buttons. In fact, it's arguably more of a keytar than the Reface DX, because the Reface DX doesn't come with keytar mode. You gotta install keytar mode for a fee. I'm gonna have to sit down and play with this until I know what I'm doing. Get on there, you piece of hooker. Okay, there we go. So, the mandatory question. Yeah, that. I wonder if you can invert the pitch wheel. Gonna have to look that up too. Okay, the pitch wheel clearly makes sense if you're sitting down and playing it. but we're not gonna do that. We got an option to save your presets to tape cassette. You guys, I'm just getting old enough to where I keep having those oh my god I'm old moments. One of my coworkers didn't know what a tape recorder was. It has strap buttons, so I'm calling it a keytar. I think that's my new definition. If it's got strap buttons, it's probably a keytar. But I need to read the manual, learn how this works, and learn a bit more about the history of it so that I can share cool things. I assumed this was going to be a little bit easier to just like play straight out of the box, but what I'm realizing is that while I assumed that this was going to be sort of like these guys where it's a novelty keyboard that's designed at the everyday entry-level person, this is designed for people who are looking for, or who were looking for, it's old, who were looking for a pro-quality instrument and who just didn't have the space for the DX7. So, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go read a manual, and I'll be back with y'all later. I'm gonna go Wikipedia some shit. I'm always impressed when I unbox something and right out of the bat I go, oh, this sounds good. That's an experience I had with the AX Edge, and it's an experience I kind of had with the RK100S, but not quite. Everything this does sounds good. And that's a really, really high praise. Why am I so close to the screen? Normally when I'm buying keytars, I'm buying them based on a combination of looks and how I think they will play. And this one I got entirely for the sounds. And so that's just worth mentioning. I should probably have done way more research before I bought this, but all I researched was make sure that the memory battery works. So here we are again. Buying shit I don't know how to use. Yamaha just still has the manual for this on their website. Yamaha released the DX100 keyboard and the DX100 motorcycle. Don't get the manual for the wrong one. Avoid dropping or rough handling. Yeah, I can do that. Hey, Keys. We're talking about you. Watch, 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 watch. This is the best. This is the best. Come on up here. You're smart. Come on. How's my good pants kitty, huh? We have two identical cats, except that this is Midnight. She's the Keytar Cat. She has she has pants. The other cat is named Socks, and she has socks. Yeah? You wanna get your head in the frame? You're just gonna stay down here. Meow. Midnight, we gotta eat our top ramen while we do this. And yes, don't tell the Nissan C16. But it's top ramen, it's not cup of noodles. Nobody tell the Nissan C16. Amp got unplugged. I can't plug it back in, because this is going on. We'll have to put the lipstick back on. A lot of this is easy to memorize, but difficult to initially understand. Like, I wouldn't have figured this out without the manual, but now that I know what the coding means, like, there's a system here, brown button does brown functions, blue button does blue functions, and things like that. Okay, so we're gonna do like 4 shots of this, and that's all I got. This guy was used in a lot of really iconic music genres, and also in house music, which is not as much a music genre as it is a religion. Instead of stealing any of those genres or decades that it's from, I just wrote a really, really generic loop that's kind of the same as what I always do. Can't handle the pressure of having the battery be about to die. I can't handle that. My dad and I are sort of setting up a music room in the house. So this is what we got so far. It's a work in progress, but it's mostly my dad's idea, so I can't work on it when he's not here. So, we're getting close. We're gonna try that one more time, and then we're just gonna call it quits. As much as I want to be like, oh, I can't do that because my hand hurts, I did actually have a severe knitting injury, which sounds really funny until you have one. It's a hand that I had surgery on and then later broke, and it's reverted, and if I play too much, it's gonna start looking like this again, and we don't want that. Especially because we're trying to convince a doctor to stab cortisone in me and or slice me open again. I just deleted the whole thing, cool. So that was good. I meant to actually slowly remove the loops one at a time so that it could fade back down, but instead I just accidentally deleted the entire loop, but that's our take. That's a take, folks. Don't snap with the fucked up hand, Pink. So the most important thing you need to know about this is from a keytaring viewpoint, instead of just turning this on, you're gonna have to turn it on and hold this button, because that will properly invert your pitch wheels. Is there a way to save that? Probably. I read half the manual. So here we are on the ground. I'm much shorter in this angle, aren't I? Those sounds, for the record, was A20, the soft harp, B17, which is 5th string, I keep hitting like B and then I'll press 2 twice because that's how it is on the SHS 500. No, it's not. That's how it is on the SHS 10. And in my heart, somehow I always judge all keytars by how much they're like the SHS 10. B22 is the squeeze box. How do you make something sound like a squeeze box? Okay, so we had Bit of a panic mode there. The battery died on this, and this camera, the new camera, doesn't beep as loudly as the old camera when the battery dies. The old camera beeped very loudly. This one does not beep very loudly. So I looked up and the screen was off, and I thought for a second that it had lost the only good take I had. B8, which I was using as a bass sound. That's what bass sounds like. Oh yeah, this one is really fun. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but I like the sound of it. Oh yeah, this one, it's called Mars to question mark. Now I haven't gone into programming this in the same way that in my Behringer TD3 video I didn't go into programming that, and in my Korg video I didn't go into programming that, and that's generally because I like churning these videos out fast instead of actually learning new skills and improving myself as a person. Oh! Ooh, my patch select works now. It didn't work before. This was built to be the budget version of the DX7, but then they made the decision to put strap buttons on it, so now I need to own it. And now I do own it. This was made to have good sounds. I am so uncomfortable with the camera this high up. I've never mentioned it, but I got this camera for like 10 bucks at Goodwill, but it is a, like, really old, not camera, tripod. I got this tripod for like 10 bucks at Goodwill. And it's really good for what it is, but it's also gigantic and heavy. Where's Tube Bells? Where's Tube Bells? Tube Bells is one of my favorites. Who's calling me? Hi. All right, sounds good, thank you. So that was my dad bringing me pizza. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I know that my dad is gonna bring me pizza now. Also, it doesn't have white noise, it has pink noise, and I am biased, but I think that's the best kind of noise that there is. So that's the thing, is if you're getting this, you're not getting it because it's a keytar, unless you're me. You're getting this because you like the way that it sounds. Where's Race Car? One of them is called Race Car.
And can take you places just standing still.
Where's Race Car? Race Car! It's kind of like how you probably don't want the Teensy Boy Pro in your average Game Boy Color to be your main synth, but you probably want to own one because it's fucking cool. Alright, good night. Good night, y'all. We're gonna turn everybody off. Because this is kind of weird to be on the floor like this. And I gotta get everything straightened up before my father gets here with pizza. Also, yes, I put the glasses back on, even though they make my eyes really small, because I was getting weird allergy things. Oh, hey, I probably should have turned the camera off before I, did this, but if you've ever wondered what the layout of my house is, here we go. Here's what it's like. This is what it's like to live here. And we need to make this taller again. Okay, cool. This is why we never ever move the camera angle. So I'm gonna get all the shit, and we're gonna get our shit in one place. We're gonna get our shit together. I'm gonna get my shit together. Oh shit, I left it filming the whole fucking time, didn't I? My analysis of the 4.5-ish hours that I have been playing with this, which includes when I decided to go roller skating, so like 3 hours. The DX100 and the KX5 are both in the same line. The KX5 was released alongside the DX7. The DX100 is, please tell me we're still recording. And this is the budget version of the DX7. Alright, we gotta compare them real quick. Because we don't have enough keytars on the bed, let's add another one. I think this has the same keys as the SHS-10 and the SHS-200, which I know were released later. KX5 has maybe one of the best key beds ever. Yeah, they feel a little bit sort of like toy. So this thing ran me, it was actually very nice, $420. I'm so proud of it. The Reface DX is $299, and then to make it a keytar, and you should make it a keytar, you have to buy the kit that's another $50. So if you're into vintage synths and vintage synth sound, and you can find someone to sell you one of these for $420, nice. I think it's probably better. The Sonogenic has the same keys as the Refaces, and they're better keys than this, and it's probably easier to program as well. If you need a keytar, and you were interested in the DX, by all means, just seek out the DX100. There's more sounds than what I demoed. You can save things on cassette. Why have you never thought about doing that, huh? Cue all my older fans who are like, dude, we did save stuff on cassette. This keytar was released 6 years before I was born. And this, which is my current favorite keytar, the Simba My Music World keytar, the DX100 is a keytar, and if you own this, you should try playing it with a strap at least once for the sake of, like, humanity. If you do that, please send it to me, like a picture of it on Instagram or Twitter, where I am Apologies. It's a really fun play on my legal name, but then I stopped using my legal name, but I still like it, so it's still Apologies. You can subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/pinkandthekeytar cat. I actually uploaded a full 20-minute video that I edited and then decided I wasn't going to upload here. So if you want an extra video for me, you can buy it for $1, and honestly, with the way Patreon works, you could sub to the Patreon, watch the video, and then unsub and not actually pay any money. Although if you do stay subbed, it's really cool. I'm garbage. I post kind of infrequently, so you probably want to hit subscribe and hit the notification button, because when I post, it's generally kind of funny and long-winded like this. And that's basically it. Maybe I'll do a video where I actually do the programmable sounds. I'm not sure I would want to spend too much time learning how to program them, because like this sounds like this in the same way that the Behringer MS-1 sounds like the... I was gonna say like the Behringer MS-1, it doesn't. It sounds like the Roland SH100, 101, SH101. I was getting mixed up with the SHSs, because it turns out that when I had a mighty need for FM synth, and somehow the SHS-10 just didn't fill that. So now I'm going to be learning about programming FM synthesis on this, but that's going to be another video for another day. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this button, right. Yeah, I got the cat in the video this time, right? The cat was in the video at some point.